everyone. Welcome to another Sunday school session here at Witches and Heathens of CNY. Tonight we will be covering wand making. So this is going to be a session that kind of inspires you to create a wand yourself. And it's a wonderful thing. Anyone can do it. We're all capable of making our own tools. We all know that in the craft we should be making our own tools. That is one of the best ways to connect with our inner spirit, our inner self, all that fun stuff. I want to make sure my comments are up just because I don't see any. Hello everyone. Hello. Just move that a little bit so you don't see the shelf all in your face. Hello. I see a comment, so hello. That means my comments are working. So, again, we're talking wand making. Now, I'm not going to physically be making a wand in front of you. Hello. Hi, Beth. But I am going to give you some cool ideas. Hi, lots of people tonight. Yay! Welcome. Welcome to our Sunday school for today. I don't even know the date. The 29th, November 29th. Hello. Hi, everybody. And yes, it is the Crow soundtrack. That's one of my favorite things to play. I always thought it was such a great soundtrack. So thank you for noticing. I should probably not play music in my videos because YouTube does not like that. So hopefully it's quiet enough so YouTube doesn't hear it. So, wand making. Where do you begin? There's so many possibilities, okay? So, a lot of the time, you get a wand made of wood. Now again, anyone can do this. It is fairly simple. You can be as basic as you want in these. I mean, it can just end up being a stick. But that's the very basic. So some things that you would like, you need to keep in mind while making your wand if you want to have the most powerful capabilities as a tool. Because this is a tool. It's not, we're not just making these to be fancy and have Harry Potter wands. Hello, Richard. So, you know, we can get fancy, but they are useful. There is a use for all of these. So one thing, if you have any suggestions, natural remedies for headaches. Headaches, willow bark is a good headache remedy. You make like willow bark tea. Yes, so obviously this replay will be available if people don't catch it live also, by the way. But yes, that would be my favorite thing. But with all natural remedies, make sure that your body is not allergic to any of these things, because some people can be allergic to willow bark, but you have to look into that, each of you. Okay, so there's different types of wood for different types of things. Now, I'm not going to list all of them and go through that. What I will be doing, though, is posting some links that were sent to me by Jeff, and that will help you outline which woods you would want to use to correspond with whatever working. So I have to be careful with tea because I'm pregnant. Oh yeah, so you probably wouldn't want to do willow bark tea. That, yeah. See, it's a lot harder for that, for sure. But I know there's like acupuncture. There's certain acupuncture areas in your body that you're supposed to be able to press and headaches go away. So I would look into that. I don't know. I feel like one of them was right here. I feel like Jeff showed me this a long time ago because he was big on pressure points. But if you press it and hold it there, I don't know. It's said to take it away. But anyway, so I did take some notes, so I will be reading a little bit. Collect wood from each tree that corresponds to each planet so you can use them for different workings. So obviously, I will be putting the links for this. So be on the lookout after this. I will post different websites that are great resources that, again, were sent to me by Jeff that gives you all the meanings of all the trees and everything. There's just so many to even list in all their correspondences. These websites will show you that. But this video is just to inspire you to make your own. So they can be made from wood. Now, I grabbed this one today. Usually what you would do is find a piece that's already on the ground. If you can't find a piece that's already on the ground, then yes, I would say it is said to use your ritual knife with one foul swoop and cut off a little branch. So you don't need anything big. You can make long ones, but I think those are more of like witch sticks, kind of, or something along those lines. Because I have like, this I made, and it's huge. See how big that is? But it's lined with crystals and things, but we'll get into that in a second. But all you really need is a piece about this big, the size of your forearm, about a foot long-ish. And then you would take this, and you're going to take all of the bark off of it. And you can use a ceremonial knife of sorts if you would like to incorporate another tool in making your tool. So you would carve all the bark off, and you can use the shavings depending on the wood too. So be resourceful and use all of your tools. I know one year someone was making an oak wand that was from oak wood, and usually the purpose of oak, to me anyway, is for Hecate. So we saved the shavings from it, and I use that in workings that are having to do with Hecate or malevolent type workings as well. So let's see. So wands are not a commanding instrument like the rod, sword, or knife, but more instructive. So this is going to direct and conduct forces harnessed for witchcraft. That is what a wand is for. There's differences in all these things, and it's usually very small differences. But nonetheless, it's a tool, and you can make this relatively cheap, if not for free. It's a tool that can be used in many different workings. Again, look at the type of tree and what planets correspond to the tree and all that fun stuff. One good way to do these is after you do the bark, you can soak it in what is called lustral water, which is just basically holy water, or some sort of cleansing water. You can even use the Rose of Jericho water if you harvest it on a Sunday, and you can use that as holy water. So you can soak it in that, or you can, if you have moon water, you can use moon water if you don't have any access to any holy water or what have you. Some sort of cleansing solution, you can soak this in. Okay? So after that is when you can start, you can carve things into it, whether that be, you know, any kind of symbol, sigil, all sorts of different things. Seals you can put into this. You can even wood burn. You don't have to carve it. You can make it all cool. Get creative, but always think of your intent and think of the types of workings that you want to do with each wand. So you can have multiple wands. You can have pretty much as many as you want, depending on how many different types of workings you do in your life. You know, you're the one that knows how many workings and what workings you do, so that's what you're going to be focused on when doing the wands. So you can soak it, put all your little symbols on it, whatever you want to do, and you can stain it. You can add all sorts of stuff to it. Now you can add crystals along it. You can add a crystal to the point, to the handle, wherever. You can use wire on it. You can use beading on it. There's all sorts of different things that you can do. And then as the handle, one of the best things to use, you can use faux leather. You can use leather. You can use ribbon. Something to give you some comfort on the handle. Now, if you're getting all the bark off of it, obviously it's going to be nice and smooth. But nonetheless, you can use some sort of cushion for your hand, and you can also decorate that. So there's all sorts of different things you can do with it. You can even, I have even taken like pressed flowers, different flowers, and glued it onto a wand. So there's a lot of different things that you can get so creative with these things, really, because the possibilities are endless. It just depends on your intent and what you want to do with it. So once this is all created and ready to go, you have to basically consecrate your tool. You're going to be, the soak cleansed it and helped, enrich the spiritual energies inside of it. And then you can pass it through consecration incense. And then after that, you can anoint it with olive oil and then essential oils, depending on what you're going for with your wand. Now, I have a particular one right here that is a Hecate dedicated wand, and you could use essential oil of rue, cedar, mugwort, and that you would do after the staining process, obviously. You can add tons of crystals. You can add any crystals you want that go with your intent. Stuff that helps you with grounding yourself and connecting and your strength and all that. You can add crystals for that. It's awesome. So then you can present it to the directions. I mean, you can really get as creative you want with it as far as putting the purpose into it. But a great way to do it is presenting it to the directions, letting it be known that this is what you have, this is what you're going to use it for, yada, yada, yada. And then you can present it to your deity if it is dedicated to a deity, or if you will be working with a specific deity while using said wand. Okay? And then, after you do that, you can pass it through the sacred fire to ensoul it with its purpose. And then you have your wonderful, wonderful wand. And after that, you can anoint it as many times as you want. You can use it in your workings. You can use it as your director of your magic. And that's what this is for. So wood is not the only thing that you can make wands out of. I know we actually do have one, what is it called? Forger in our group. But you can also make it out of iron. Iron is obviously a very spiritual, magical, awesome, amazing harnesser of energy. So it is said to be forged by the gods. That is why it's so powerful, because it carries their power along with it. So it is very effective in controlling spiritual forces. It is said to keep malicious forces in check, and like the gates of Tartarus, conjure the power of the universe. And they can be used when working with wards, protection spells, and cursing, and things like that. But also something that I use this one for, this one was given to me by my brother. It is a railroad spike made into a wand, and that is so unbelievably awesome. But it has a nice little crescent moon at the top. It's awesome. It's beautiful. But I also use it while I'm poking around at my new moon wishes when I do that, because obviously it's fire resistant. So it's wonderful. And some people use them to poke poppets and all sorts of stuff. There's also, and you can anoint it and then poke the poppet. Doesn't always have to be negative, so don't always connect poppets with negative, but you can poke the poppet. So that really covers a lot of the basics. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions at all about wand making? Anything that you want me to go over a little bit more in detail? Because this one's kind of a quick one, but I think that just goes to show you that it's very simple to make. Yes, this one is very cool. I love it. It was a very nice gift. I love going to Jeff's house. I love it. I love it. And I love making wands, and one of these days maybe we can do a workshop where we supply supplies and all get together and make wands, and it'll be fun. It'll be a great time once we can all get together. That would be wonderful, but we can't do that yet. But we will, eventually. That'll be one of the fun crafts, because we do like to get hands-on, and, you know, before this Sinday session, maybe you didn't know how much could actually go into a wand. So definitely, it's very, very simple. It would be so much fun. I would love to do that. And Jeff, thank you for helping me compiling this lesson tonight. Because, you know, you really have to think of all of the aspects of your tools, especially when you're making them. So while you're making them, you can know what you should be thinking about and, you know, what you should be looking for when it comes to decorating all of this. And there you go, there's your headache thing. I've never tried that. So do we have any questions? Any questions at all? We have, like I said, I will be posting a link that contains a bunch of different types of trees and their correspondences that was sent to me by Jeff, and we'll get that out to you so you can start searching for your perfect wand. Right now is a great time to be doing this because it's right before winter hits. You can go to your local cemeteries, you know, depending on who you're working with. You can go to different locations, like with Hecate, a crossroads would be a great place to find a wand to create for her. Now again, you don't have to be too fancy with it. You can just leave it bare. You can get all the bark off and then leave it bare. And it's really not that hard to get the bark off. You know, all you have to do is chisel it away. And you can make that into a ritual in itself. You know, you can light some incense that goes along with what you're making. You know, you can make even like a blessing or cleansing incense to go along with you making your wand, you know. Think outside the box, be creative, really put thought into your tools. Because even though it is free to make, it's very personal. I think it is an underused tool as well. I agree. I absolutely agree. Now, I mean, there's other cool things that you can make too. Like, I remember one of my things that I have it right here. This I made a long, long time ago. See, there's ribbon on the end here. This is my witch stick. This is something that I use in a full moon working. I usually stab this into the ground and funnel. I draw down the moon, basically. But this is similar to a wand, but I would consider it like a witch stick. But you can make stuff like this. This is just paint and fabric, because you could just use fabric on the ends, and bells, and just a piece of the dowels. And you can get those for dirt cheap at Walmart. And this, like I said, this one's ginormous, so I don't know. It's almost sword-like, but it's still made out of wood. There's Spanish moss on there. There's a pentacle. You know, there's all sorts of things that you can add to your wand to make it personal to you. Really. So, get to it. And like I said, when you're shaving these off, save the shavings. Save those shavings. Okay? And all of this, yes, it was so much fun. That was a great thing to make. I love it. But save your little shavings, use them in future workings that correspond with the intent that is in the wood. And I have to make sure you know that all of this stuff can go into your Book of Shadows or grimoire. So you can keep track of all your wands and all of the magical things that you do. And then once I put out the links of all the different trees and whatnot that corresponds with different things, you can add that to your grimoire. You have to say that word fancy. Grimoire. That was so boring. But yeah, are there any questions at all? Think outside the box, you know? Definitely, I love the idea of using the incense while you're doing it to match your intent. Even if, like, your intent is just to boost your magical abilities, you can make an incense that goes with that, you know? But this is from my middle tree out back. And it's going to be dedicated to something that I can't tell you yet. Well, there you go. Well, I should say that out loud. Okay, and usually that wood the dowels are made from is pine, which is powerful for nature gods, healing, and prosperity. And what would you suggest inscribing into the wand? Well, you can do all sorts of things. You can do seals. You can do sigils, which I already talked about. I did talk about this, but you can do all sorts of things. You can even write words onto it if you don't know any of those things. You could do whatever you want. Whatever you want. The Seal of Solomon was one suggested thing that was on your list, Jeff. But pentacles, you can inscribe onto it. Anything, you know, anything that goes along with your intent that is going into this can be inscribed into it. So it can be, you know, all sorts of different things. Let me see if there's something that I didn't mention. Is there something that I didn't mention, Jeff? No, I feel like yeah. Yeah, I covered it. But I'm going to put those links. I'm going to put the links of the... I've actually used antler for a wand. That was pretty cool. I'll show you the matching antler. I don't have the other antler because it was an order. But let me show you the other antler. This was the matching antler to the other wand. And there was a crystal on the top, and there was feathers on it, and all sorts of pretty things, and it was the wand. But yeah, yeah, you can totally get creative. I mean, you can get a rib. Rib bones are fairly straight. You can use those for wands. I'm right in the camera, sorry, but I want to show you what I'm talking about. You can use something like this. And I always love bones because I feel like they're great with connecting with spirit and especially your ancestors. Finally on vacation this week. Sounds like a fun project to work on. It totally is. And you can get creative. You can go to Michael's and you can get some crafts if you want to get them. There was one that I made. It was a custom order, but I put a beaded wire all around the entire wand. And you can even get crystal beads. Like you can get all sorts of different cool beads to go up along it. And you know, metal is also a conductor of energy, so the metal on the wire is going to also help. And you can also get different colored wire to match the intent or deity that goes along with your wand. See how much fun this is and how creative you can get with it? Like, there's so many possibilities, and it's just one little tool. But it's such an important tool, I feel like. So we should all be able to make one, you know. You don't, like I said, you don't have to get fancy. You can just leave it beautiful and natural. You don't have to stain it. You don't, which you can stain it too, but you don't have to, you know. See? Super easy. Until I break it, right? Like I said, this one was just at the bottom of my middle tree. And oh my gosh, I have to tell you, it was so adorable. So I did a video of my middle tree, which is going to be dedicated to a certain something, and I can't tell you what yet because I want it to be a surprise. But while I was there, I was looking at the offerings that I had hung on the tree last time I was out. And there's these holes in the trees. There's one big one and then one over on the side. And in this little one right underneath, well, it was right above the offerings, this adorable little weasel stuck his head out because we were talking, so he heard our voices. And he stuck his little head out, and he was looking at us, and he was looking around and looking at us, and he looked so adorable. I was talking to him. He was adorable. So the kids ended up naming him Jareth, and that's going to stick. That's awesome. So, yeah, that's my story. Hello, Justin. It's okay if you're late. We're pretty much at the end, though. The wands are very easy to make. Very, very easy. Everybody should have one. But I did cover some things to look into before you make your wand. So that would be the types of wood, the material in general that you make it out of, which we covered, or wood, iron. You could use bone. All sorts of things. Dowels. Many different things you can use. It's always great to harvest as well. So, very simple. Very, very simple. If anyone has any questions, let me know now, because I think if no one has questions, that's pretty much the end of tonight's webisode. Coffee is so good. Coffee at 9 o'clock at night. Copper pipe. I could see that, yeah. And it's a great conductor. Definitely. And yes, if anyone has anything to add, anything that inspires people, add it on in there. I don't see any questions though. So I think that's it. You're welcome. Yes, this is a very easy, cheap craft. So we all should have a wand. There should be no excuse as to why you don't have a wand. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for saying thank you. And if anyone has any questions after this, or if you want to post your wand, if you make a wand, please do, because that would be so much fun to see all your wands. It can inspire someone else to make a wand, because they're so much fun and easy to make. Get creative. Just as anything else, get creative. Thank you, and again, thank you, Jeff, for helping me compile everything. And I will be posting the links in just a few moments, so be on the lookout for that so you can write it down and copy it into your Book of Shadows, or grimoire. Alright guys, have a great night, have a great Sunday, and have fun. Bye.